Hey guys, Christy Shelton from foreverandafter.com. I am coming to you with the next installment of my time management series. Today I want to talk to you guys about time blocking, or power pockets as I like to call them. Basically, the concept of time blocking is that you schedule out your time into easy to manage tasks where you can focus on those particular tasks without distractions, and you can oftentimes get more done. The theory behind that is that our brain subconsciously will take or fill up space or fill up time based on knowing that we have that amount of time left. So if I tell myself that I'm going to give myself, 20 minutes to get out of bed, my brain is going to let me wait until the very last minute to actually meet that 20-minute deadline. So with power pockets or time blocking, you set a deadline for how long you have to accomplish a task, and you give yourself long enough to get that task done, but you don't give yourself so much time that you find you're idling or, taking extra time to do something. So the first step to making this work and really getting a schedule down and stuff is making a list of all the things that you need to accomplish. And I try to do this on a weekly basis, and then I try to separate it out into like daily tasks that need to be done. So if you caught my video, the previous video in this series, I had you make a list for the stuff that you were doing right now that you need to keep doing, and also a list of stuff that you either want to start or like tasks that are coming up, priorities that are coming up for you that you need to get started on, so that we can fit those into your schedule. Step number 2 is to be realistic about your time. Make sure you're not trying to do too much. I'm guilty of making this really long to-do list, and then I feel awful or unproductive, or I feel like really down on myself if I don't get everything done. So especially in the beginning, when you first start this, you may not really know how long it's going to take you to do a particular task. So you're going to budget your time out and then kind of go from there. Part of this process will be reevaluating to see, whether you should increase or decrease the time you're spending. So don't worry about that. Just make sure that you're being reasonable with yourself and realistic on what you're trying to accomplish during this time that you're scheduling out. Number 3 would be to remove distractions. So when I set myself up for a task, say I block out 20 minutes to dust and vacuum my living room and my kitchen. If that's the time that I allotted to do that, I make sure that I take away all of my distractions. I either turn my phone on Do Not Disturb. Sometimes I'll pop in some headphones and just kind of focus that way. You really want to communicate your schedule or your plans with anyone else that you share your life with too, so that they know during this particular time is a time not to disturb you, that you're focused on something specific. If you own your own business, or you work a business at home, these would be what you would set as your business hours, and make sure that you're adhering to the business hours that you set. Number 4 is don't be too specific. So as humans, our human nature is to want to have choice. I know personally, if somebody tells me that I have to do the dishes tomorrow at 6 o'clock, my natural instinct is to say no, and maybe either do nothing or do something completely different. So depending on what you're scheduling out, whether it be your business life or your personal life or both, leave yourself some freedom to have some choice. Even if it's not a huge variety of choices, it's still going to mentally prepare you to be able to still get something accomplished, even when you come home and you're like not feeling the dishes or the laundry or whatever you had budgeted into your schedule for that day. Number 5 would be to keep notes and reevaluate. So if you end up getting into a task like writing an article or a blog post or something to that effect, and you don't get finished with it, if you take notes on where you were, kind of what you were thinking about, that kind of thing, it'll help you to pick right back up where you left off. So I oftentimes will take note of, what I was thinking about, what my roadblocks were, what I figured out about those roadblocks, that kind of stuff, things I've accomplished, so that way when I go back to that task the next day or the day after, I can just jump right in and I don't have to rethink about everything completely. And then reevaluate. I prefer to reevaluate weekly, especially in the beginning, because you're trying to figure out how much time everything takes you, whether you've budgeted too much or not enough. So start out weekly. You can adjust that to do, every other week. You can do it monthly, whatever kind of fits your schedule and depends on how often your tasks are changing. I think we're at what, 6, 2, 4, 6. Yeah. Listen to your body clock. So I know throughout my workday, there are certain periods of time when I am way more productive than other periods of time. So when I get to work first thing in the morning, if there's no one else at work, I'm usually really, really productive, even though I'm tired. And then around 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning, I hit this like lull where I could almost fall asleep doing no matter what it is I'm doing at my desk. Sometimes I'm talking on the phone to people and I still am struggling to stay awake. That's just one of my periods where I'm just extra tired. And then right after lunch, I usually get an energy boost. So you want to pay attention to your body clock, and you want to make sure that you are doing things during your productive times. If you know that you're always exhausted for the first 30 minutes that you get home, don't schedule anything hardcore for those first 30 minutes. Make sure you're setting yourself up for success and not for failure. And then number 7 would be use reminders that work. So for me, when I'm doing my Power Pockets or my time blocking, I schedule alarms on my phone. And I schedule them out for the number of minutes that I need them to go for. And then as soon as the alarm goes off, I switch tasks. Sometimes I'll schedule multiple periods within an hour's time, where as soon as we get home from work, I spend an hour, doing specific tasks and things like that. For me, the alarm clock works. For some people, it's scheduling email reminders. For some people, it's, a multitude of things, and you can try different approaches to it. You could try the email scheduling. You can try a Google Calendar. There are some apps that help with time blocking and Power Pockets. You can try one of those that has a reminder on it. It's really just kind of getting the feel of it and feeling how it works for you and adapting it to your life and your schedule. So I look forward to hearing how this is helping you guys, and I will catch you guys again soon.